Welcome to the Wolverine Blitz. I'm your host, Raquel Liss. Well, let's get right into it. We had an action-packed week as we watched our Wolverines take the field in Tucson. Our flag team lost 19-0 against the Falcons. Our 8U had a huge win over the Vail Vikings, 12-0. Shout out to Jofiel and Derek for being named the offensive and defensive player of the game. 9U had an amazing win against the Vail Vikings, 52-12. PJ Robinson really stood out as the player of the week. 10U had a tough day on the field against the Vail Vikings, losing 38-0. Riker and Colton did a really great job at the game. 11U lost 7-6 against the Jaguars. And here's a message from our athletic director, Kevin Lassiter.
Good evening. I'm your athletic director, Kevin Lassiter. I'd like to talk about a couple of topics this evening, starting off with our preparation for game day. Prior to game day, we highly recommend that you look at your players' equipment bags and make sure they have mouthpieces, cups, jerseys, pants, shoulder pads, and helmets, and lastly, that they have a mouthpiece that also is tethered to the helmet. All this equipment will be inspected prior to the game starting during check-in. And speaking of check-in, we ask that all players are present at the site of a game 1 hour and 30 minutes before the posted kickoff time. So in coming up with the uniforms that we're wearing for this season, they're inspired by the University of Michigan Wolverines football team. So our primary colors, of course, are the blue and maize, or yellow as some people call it. Our secondary home uniform is the blue jersey with blue pants, which we will be calling our battle blue uniform. Our primary away uniform is our yellow jersey with blue pants, known as the Weapon X uniform. Last uniform is our alternate away uniform, which is the yellow jersey and yellow pants, or the all yellow everything uniform. That's also our color rush uniform. So that's the inspiration behind our uniforms. Please stay tuned to the latest episode of ADTV to see what the Wolverines will be wearing from week to week. So we want to recognize all of our players and thank the players and coaches for all the hard work that they've been putting in to get ready for each of the games we've played so far this season. But we want to take the time to have a special shout out to our Wolverines player of the week, PJ Robinson from the 9U Wolverines. PJ had 7 total touchdowns in last Saturday's game against the 10U Vail Vikings at Micah Mountain High School. He had 6 rushing touchdowns and returned a kickoff for a touchdown. So way to go, PJ. Congratulations, 9U team, on your 52-12 victory. Upcoming games this week are going to be important and fun to watch. The 11U Wolverines will be taking on an undefeated opponent in the Tucson Raiders, and that will be in Marana. Also, the 9U Wolverines will be taking on its first out-of-league opponent as they battle against the Sahuarita 49ers at Sabino High School. Good luck to every team that's playing this weekend. And lastly, thank you, cheerleaders, for your support at every game.
Let's hear it. Let's go.
I want to thank you all for the opportunity to serve as your athletic director. If there's ever any time that you need to speak with me, feel free to reach out to me at svwolverinesad@gmail.com. And lastly, before I depart, I want to talk to you about our mandatory practice time rule. Remember that every player and cheerleader is required to have 4 hours of practice during the week to be eligible to play in that week's game. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks, Kevin. And that's it from the Wolverine Blitz. Remember, if you want to have your child highlighted on our next week's episode, please make sure that you send me any clips that you may have. We'll see you next week. Go Wolverines!